Today I'm going to do a mini makeover at one of these Mayberry Street miniatures from Hobby Lobby. And I've done this one before, this little paint palette set, but I want to do it in a fall theme. So here we go. First, I'm going to paint on some milk chocolate brown paint and then immediately rub it off so it gives more of a stained look versus a paint look. Now I'm going to repaint the painter's palette and I'm going to make it look a little bit more messy than the one that's there. Obviously, that'll give it more of a realistic look. And I'm also going to use an array of really pretty fall colors. For some of the tubes of paint, I want to make it look like that there's some paint being pushed out of the tubes. I'm rolling out some polymer clay. I'm going to make a couple little tiny squiggles and then one just a straight shot so it just looks like someone's squeezing out some paint out of the tubes, and then I'll bake that. I chose an orange, a brown, and a cream color. I'm going to go ahead and glue my little tubes to the palette and glue the little polymer clay squiggles on the palette too so they look like they're now being squeezed out of those paint tubes. Now I've started to glue everything down, including the other paint tubes underneath the paint palette. Now I'm using a metallic paint to paint over the tubes to just dial back the amount of new shine that they have on them. I'm cutting down some remnant pieces of cardstock, and these are going to be my little canvases. And then one of the canvases I'm going to cut a little bit larger, and then I'm going to paint a little quick fall scene on it. And then the back two canvases, I'm just going to add a little bit of base paint to them. Now I want to create a little water glass to rinse off the paint brushes. I have a broken wine glass. I'm going to add a little bit of resin and a little bit of resin color called coffee to make it a little murky. And then I'll go ahead and glue that into actually the thumb hole of the palette. I have some remnants left over from one of those Roll Life kits of all these like little small dried flowers. So I'm going to glue in a few of those to the backside of this kit just so it feels like there's some inspirational pieces that maybe this artist is using for their painting. Now to create a painter's rag, I'm just gonna literally rip off a piece of my own painter's napkin and squish that down and glue it into this painter set. Now I have this little pre-made cup of coffee here, but I've really been into tea lately, pumpkin spice tea lately. And so I'm gonna add a little wire to the side of it and then clip off a little piece of paper to make it look like a little tea bag is hanging out of this set. I'll go ahead and glue that down as well, along with this little paintbrush that I already have. And then I have a few little fall flowers that I'm gonna glue around. And then there you go, all done. A nice, brand new, but looks used fall painter set. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this mini makeover. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.